YouTube, what's the deal? It's your girl Jahira, and I am back. Hey everybody. Um, it is normally not my MO to make two videos in one night and really within the course of a couple of hours of each other. And I'm not going to upload, back to back, but I'll get this out there at some point soon. Not that y'all even know when I'm making this, but anyway, oi, something was just kind of sitting on me in addition to what was sitting on me prior to the, in the previous video that I just uploaded. And basically, during my little hiatus, I didn't really have a chance to talk about the untimely passing of Whitney Houston. And I'm not necessarily going to touch on it now. And okay, I'm a little disjointed here, y'all. Recently, in the ballroom community, an incident occurred which has sort of drudged up the subject of substance abuse. And I will probably never have the opportunity to talk to the ballroom at large about my experience in substance abuse. There's not a ton of people who would be so eager to hear what I had to say anyway. But I wanted to talk to y'all about it. And especially because I just recently watched Oprah's interview with the Houston family, with Gary and with Pat and with Whitney's daughter, Bobby Christina. And I watched as Gary broke down singing I Look to You, and I saw the abject pain that the family must be feeling. And it got me to thinking about substance abuse and sort of one of the misconceptions that people, both in ballroom and in the world at large, continue to have regarding how to best approach someone who is currently using. Many of you who have been with me for an extensive period of time know this. But for those of you who don't, I am a recovering addict. Cocaine was my drug of choice. And at my lowest point, I was going through anywhere from, in terms of a rough estimate, I would say between $200 and $250 a day, every day, of cocaine. I have been clean and sober now, good grief, going on 8 years. Yeah, going on 8 years. And it truly is a one day at a time process, and I thank God for every day that I have not used, including today. And I don't know what tomorrow will bring, but I'll be doing my best. But there's this misconception, and I've been hearing it a lot sort of within the ballroom circuit, and also from people who have commented on Whitney's own issues. Because people have been saying, you have to reach out and you have to offer some help and you have to talk to a person who's using, and make them see. And I'm not for a second saying that this is not good advice, but I need to make something very clear to y'all. And maybe I'm just speaking to my own self here. I don't know if I got any users or former users that are willing to stand up and say me too. But I just need to say to y'all that at the worst of my using, my former fiance, whom y'all will know as David, begged me to get clean and berated me about getting clean and thought that he could insult me into wanting to get clean. And even more important than his foolish self, and this is the part that I'm going to try not to be emotional, my mother was not, my mother was not made aware of how serious my addiction had become until kind of after the fact. But my mother had her suspicions that I was using. And those suspicions were confirmed when my former fiance just out and out told her that I was using. A move which I was incensed with him about. A move that I was so angry with him for doing. Although in retrospect, I would like to believe that it came out of a genuine sense of concern. And I vividly remember my mother begging me, I mean with tears streaming down her face, to tell her if I had a problem. And to tell her, because I could tell my mother, I could tell my mother anything. And it would be okay. But she just needed to know. She just needed to hear it from me. And I looked my mother dead in her eyes. And with the greatest sincerity and greatest emotion that I could possibly muster up, I lied. I lied to my own mother. And that is what real addiction will make you do to people. I was not ready to get clean 1 minute before I was ready to get clean. And God help me, I am all for interventions. I am all for the begging and the pleading and the cajoling. I am all for people using every resource that they have at their disposal to try to bring their loved ones back from that space. But until you are ready, truly ready, there is nothing that anybody can do for you. I felt in the Oprah interview as Gary and Pat were talking, because Oprah, of course, asked, the real hard-hitting questions, one of which was, did you ever try? And I sort of felt the helplessness in their answer because, as family members, of course they tried. And how could they not try? But there's something about trying to help somebody who, A, is not ready to be helped, and B, all of y'all are on their payroll, that makes it exceedingly difficult to try the way you'd normally want to try. Now, I'm sure, and I am in no way insinuating, but I'm 150% positive they would have given up, every check they had ever gotten in order to get their girl back, in order to get, her clean and situated and aware and alert and sobered on her way. I have no doubt in my mind about that. But I mean, this is Michael Jackson revisited. You know what I mean? Everybody is eating from this man, and what he's going to do with his money is what he's going to do. And I mean, just to take it down, off of a celebrity level, again, not for a second. It took me hitting rock bottom. And I mean rock bottom. And I promise you, there is a rock bottom. There is absolutely a rock bottom. And the day will come that I will discuss with y'all what mine was. But it took me getting to that place where there's nowhere left to go. Where you say to yourself with a frightening level of clarity, because clarity is often not factored into the getting high process at all, but suddenly you are succinctly aware that I am going to get better or I am going to die. And these are my options. These are my only options. And that was the moment that I said, I want to live. And so I did. But I'm I just wanted to come in and share this with y'all. If you are dealing with a loved one who is using or drinking, all of this applies to alcohol as well. All of it. You know what I mean? All of it. It's all an insidious disease that robs you blind, robs you of time, robs you of memories, robs you of moments, robs you of precious, valuable interactions with loved ones, robs you of your dignity and integrity and faith. It comes to steal, kill, and destroy. If you are dealing with somebody who is using, by all means, use all that is at your disposal to encourage them to get themselves well. But please bear in mind your limitations and know that whatever they decide is not at heart your fault at all. Ultimately, the decision to be well has to come from them, as it did from me. These are just my thoughts, y'all, on a very late night / early morning. I love you. I am praying for all of you. Y'all, please continue to pray my strength as I will do for you. And I will see y'all very, very soon. One love.